Every year for my birthday, I dress up ridiculous like this and I host a croquet tournament, because if there's one good thing about your birthday is you can make people do what you want to do. And for me, I like to play croquet. Now this event has turned into a pretty big tournament over the years, so I thought this year, why don't I get a trophy? This isn't that serious, but I thought it would be like a neat surprise for everybody to have a cool trophy. So I went on down to the trophy store and I grabbed something off the shelf, and it was almost $700 to make the trophy that I wanted. Because this isn't that serious and I'm pretty handy, I thought, why don't I just make the trophy myself? And that's what we're gonna do today. So the first stop, gotta head over to the local Goodwill. And boy, did we find some gems over here. I stopped in glassware first, maybe a chalice, or how about this, grandma's fruit bowl? Or what if we go over to the vase section? Gotta be some good vases that we can build into a trophy. A peacock, pretty good idea for a winner. That's when I saw it out of the corner of my eye, the lamp section. Look at these beauties. And taking a look at all the different ones, out of the corner of my eye, the perfect one. And got this sweet lamp for $1.99. And then I have this big old chunk of wood. Let's make our own trophy. Is it gonna turn out good? I don't know. Maybe it's terrible, but it's kind of a joke anyway. So let's see if we can't have some fun with it for this year's tournament. First things first is we're gonna disassemble this lamp, see what we have to work with. I'm already seeing an idea here. That might be an even better cup. Trending in the right direction here. I don't know, that might look even cooler. We'll see. We got options. That's the good news. All right, let's move on to the block. Obviously this block of wood is way too big, and so what I'm thinking is if we cut, you know, a couple small pieces, that could be like the base for it, and then we'll do some bigger sections and kind of tier it up. So the first tier is going to be a big block, and then the second tier will get a little bit smaller, and then have something like that on the top of it. Let's get to cutting. This is too big to even fit in my chop saw, so the first few cuts got to be by hand. This is a rough cut piece of cedar. It is very rough around the edges, so we are going to take just a little bit off each side to make it nice and smooth and be trophy quality, because we can't be having the winner getting splinters when I host up this trophy. Maybe somebody else, but hopefully it's me hosting it up at the end. I don't want slivers, so we're making it nice and smooth. Now that we've got it nice and smooth on all four sides, we are going to cut out the base. And so we are doing a nice 2-inch thick base to come off of the side. I want this cut to be really nice. We're going to get as much of it as we can with the table saw, and then we're going to take that last little cut back over to the bandsaw. Now this is going to give us a pretty smooth cut, but we're not going for pretty smooth here. We want perfect. So let's fire up this planer, and this thing, you're going to be able to eat off of this. It's going to be so smooth. So let's take a few passes through the planer and get this thing perfect on both sides. You're going to be able to rub your hand over this. No slivers, no splinters. This is what cedar's supposed to look like. Really nice. So what we're going to do now is make perfectly square edges. All right, got ourselves a base. Think that I'm just gonna make it easy. I'm kind of making up a size here. I'm just going to the end. So we have plenty of material anyways. It's kind of general idea so far. And I need to cut this as well. That'll be the next piece, so moving in the right direction. Be the next spot there. And then we got to cut this one, got to make it smaller, but that'll be the next part. All right, I've got all these pieces cut, and here is kind of what the general idea that I was thinking. Lamp on top of that. What do you guys think? So we've got all of our pieces now, but we can't just have these flat edges. So we're gonna router them out. What design do you think we should choose? Here's the first one. It kind of has a rounded edge and then a little step up. I don't know. Might be screwing this up by using a scrap piece of wood that doesn't look any good to test out anyways. This is only my second one, but this is just like a 45-degree angle, and I think I found the one I like. I like this one, just simple. All right, here goes nothing. Looking nice. Gives it a little bit more character. Now, should I bevel these edges as well, or am I pushing it? Might be kind of cool, but I could also screw it up. I did with a scrap piece of wood. I beveled those edges versus straight edges. I don't know, I kind of think I like the straight edges better. Gives a little bit of a contrast between the base. What do you guys think? Take a vote. Comments below. The other thing I was thinking is beveling both edges for that piece, which I think I'm gonna do. I ended up beveling both sides, and I think that looks a lot better. Still gotta sand it, but Looking real nice, Clark. Alright, gonna bevel the top piece. I think that has to be beveled on both sides too. It's got to match. Got to match down below. The other part is, do we leave this straight and bevel just the top part? That might look pretty cool. I don't know that it needs that last part. Kind of looks more like a cup if you remove that. I came up with one more idea. We could do it upside down like that. I don't know, it kind of looks more like a flower vase at that point. I like the idea of it looking like a cup. Golf, soccer, croquet, I feel like it's more of a cup winning sport. Got all of these cut, and it's just a little bit of a rough cut, so we're gonna sand them down real quick with some 220 sandpaper. Significantly better. So smooth. It looks so nice. Alright, let's put a nice coat of urethane on here to really make this pop. I'm gonna bring out all the grain. Now, some people say to go with the grain, but I don't know. I don't know if that's necessary. Now this goes on like kind of a milky color, but it'll dry clear. Hopefully. This is also like 7 years old, so this is a budget build though, trying to keep this cost under $5. Alright, let's do coat number 2. We've got a good 3 coats on this. I think it's looking really nice. So let's start putting it together. And we're gonna screw the base and the first column. I'm gonna pre-drill all these holes just because this board has got a crack in it. So we've got 8" of base here, and we've got 9 1/4. This next part, it seems simple, like, oh, you just screw a couple screws in, but then how do you mount this next piece? And this is why trophies are screwed together, because it basically has to squish everything down. Also, this lamp that I'm using is, we have to figure out, like this, you know, these don't hold together. So again, something has to cinch those together. And the lamp came with something like this, but it's not quite the right height. And what I did is, see, there used to be another piece that went like this. And so what I did is I turned this upside down to suck down rather than have this be on top like it used to be. So now it's actually going to be upside down and pulling it down to keep everything together. So this next part that I need to get just right is I'm going to have to drill all the way through the center, so that this can essentially be tightened on the bottom, and then when we tighten that nut, it is going to cinch all of these together like so. But it's not the exact dimension, so I also need to cut this and make it a little bit different. Now I could just go into town and buy a rod, but hey, we're saving money here. I have $1.99 into this so far, and try not to spend any more. So let's measure it out and see exactly what the length is that I need to make this. I don't need to use a drill press for all of this, but I think it's going to be easier to keep a straight drill through this bigger block, so I might as well just take all of the pieces and make that cut. Now that we've got every piece back from the drill press, now we need to attach it all. This is going to be pretty close first try. I think that with a couple washers we can actually nail this on the first try. This is how close it is, so we just need a little bit more. There's just a little bit of space in here to where we can't get that on, so we can just cut a little section out and we'll be fine. What I did to shorten this up is I actually just put the nut as far as it would go, and that gives us just enough space. So if we drill a hole into this, it should squish everything up to where we can just tighten this, call it a day. So I'm gonna drill a hole in the center so that that can slide in there. Just taking a rough estimate of how far that needs to be. Heck yeah. That is gonna be sweet. Now that we know that this is gonna be the correct size, I'm going to screw this top into place. I'm just trying to kind of line up the wood grains to make it look nice. I don't know that it really matters that much, but now that we have that set where it's gonna stay, we can pop this back off and put a little washer in here, and that's gonna sandwich it in place where we want it. So that's all I'm doing, just sliding the washer on there. I should show you what I'm doing. This used to be on the top of the lamp, but I'm flipping it upside down to suck it down, and then I'm just using a couple little washers. This thing is so tall, it's 6'2", and I can barely reach the top. Now that everything's fitting together, I don't want all of these to be able to shift, because even when this is tightened down, they will be able to shift a little bit. So I think at minimum, we'll glue these two pieces together. Leave that overnight.
Tomorrow.
Now the last part is the finishing touch. You gotta have past champions. So somewhere on the center, I'm gonna screw that in. So let's tilt it down and do that next. Now, you may be asking yourself, why didn't you just buy a cheap trophy off of Amazon? I did that. This is what it looks like. And this wasn't like a super cheap trophy. This was almost $60 trophy. And it looks all right. It's not plastic. It's actually like a tin metal. It doesn't look horrible, but wouldn't you rather win this? $1.99, 60 bucks. This is what you want to win. What a true croqueter, whatever, what's a professional croquet-et and a croquet-y? I don't know. You want this thing. It's freaking sweet. Think it turned out good. Turned out real nice, Clark.
Golf is all about how you handle pressure. You know, even if you're 18 handicap and you're playing for a milkshake, it's how you handle the choke factor. I don't know why everybody has a problem with it. It's part of the game. It's the greatest part of the game. That's a 6th practice swing there. Just a lot going on. I'm sure if he was playing with Arnold Palmer, Arnie'd go, "What are you doing?" I think this green was watered with ready-mix cement last night. It is firm, Johnny.
Johnny, I have seen a number of players putt from the back part of this green. Results have not been good. Johnny, that's better than most.
How about in?
That is better than most. Better than most!